Good evening, everybody. This is Michael, one half of Filling in the Blanks.
The other half's right here.
Oh, yes, she is. You cannot see her, but you could definitely hear her, and you will be hearing much more of her. Yeah. And apparently tonight, my wife has put me in the hot seat. Not literally speaking, it's very cozy here, and it feels a little chilly, actually, on the bum. Nonetheless, I just wanted to give a disclaimer. If you do hear any strange noises in the background, this could be one of several things. It could be Parky, who sounds a bit like a gremlin at times, and all sorts of other unnatural beings, as well as Brooklyn. Rarely does she make too much noise, but she might just come at me through the door and throw her big 70-pound body on me, and I'll look like a withered bird. Or Haley, and if we hear her from her, that shouldn't be. She's sleeping soundly. Or just Mama Martha, and you know what she sounds like. Now on that note, let's proceed.
All right.
Ready, sweetheart.
All right, Michael, life has been crazy lately. And as you guys know, we haven't put out any episodes because life's been crazy for the last, it's going on about 3 weeks. And I know you guys have missed us.
The withdrawals must have been astronomically high.
But today, as you said, you're in the hot seat.
Yes.
And I'm interviewing you for the podcast. And you are not allowed to skip any questions. You must answer them. Okay?
Okay.
He's not aware of any of these questions or anything like that. But it's not anything crazy, but...
I'll be the judge of that.
Okay. So, this is the Michael section. All right. So, what is something about you that people would be surprised to learn?
Well, if you do not know me, I am a Puerto Rican, and I think that is not so much a rarity as people might think if they really know diversity. But most people I've encountered still haven't heard of such a thing. So, yes, and it's a big part of me, you know, all of it, all the different parts of me. Also have a lot of African in me, 23%. And I light up the globe. So I think my diverse DNA is something that composes who I am that you just may not know. And that's why I'm so open to everything and everyone. And I would hope the world is the same regardless of their DNA.
All right.
How did I do? That's like a pageant answer, huh? Not
yeah. What's the most ridiculous job you've ever had?
There's been so many, so I really have to dig deep, I think. Well, the most ridiculous job. I suppose, you know, it's not that it was just such a horrible job when you mention it, but if you were there doing it, it was pretty shitty. Excuse my language. I worked for Hollister when I was about 17, and at the time it was like the thing, and I never really was my style then. Ironically, I look more like a Hollister wearing dude now or something. I was all about the baggy jeans and but I was in the back, and I was kind of treated like an inbred or something who just wasn't allowed to be out in the population where it smelled like such strong cologne that you could collapse, you know, in the store. But I was in the back and I was very isolated. And I even still was invited to a Hollister party at some point, so that was cool. But I just felt like so alone and out of my element in every facet of the word. And also, I guess working for Amazon, particularly in the factory, I just felt like I was a robot working with robots, and it just never ended. That was never for me, but every experience is a good one if you take something good from it, and I suppose I did. And those would be my answers for that.
Excellent. All right. What is something you loved when you were a kid that you still love now?
Right there.
Let's go Knicks.
Let's go Knicks.
Yes.
And we won't get off track too much with that. But that's a fact. I've been a Knicks fan since I was 5, staunch, religiously, and I will always be, no question about it. And if there's anything else I could say that I've always loved, there's a lot of things. But aside from the Knicks, I would say human interaction that is meaningful, kind of like a sapiosexual, that's a term for it, stimulated by intellect, by others. You know, not I don't like conversations like that. I like stimulating, meaningful conversations. And you don't have to be a genius or something, you know, but I feed off of intelligence. It is invigorating to me, and I've always been that way.
All right. So, what is one thing you are really proud of in your life so far?
Well, I can say I'm very proud of the family I created with the lovely woman who's interviewing me right now in this hot seat. I'm very grateful that I met her and that we fell in love and that we got married, and of course that we had our beautiful daughter Haley. The greatest reward or award, whatever the word is properly, is those two women, that girl and that woman in my life. And also, I guess, after all I went through with college, in and out for a slew of reasons I will not get into, going from a 1.79 GPA to summa cum laude. That was an incredible feat that I'm incredibly proud of, that I was able to accomplish.
And for those of you who don't actually know what that means, what GPA is?
It's a 3.972. It's a lot better than 1.79. It goes from academic probation to then the highest level of a collegiate, academic award that one could be given. And so for that, I'm entirely proud of myself for accomplishing that.
So am I.
Thank you, sweetheart.
Yeah.
Also winning the Junior Olympics a couple of times in martial arts. I'm proud of that. I had to throw that in because that was incredible. I was just talking to Haley about it before bedtime because we're going to start putting her into sports very soon.
Right. So if you could go back and give your younger self one piece of advice, what would it be?
Don't be someone who becomes a follower as a leading kind of minded person, because that is the most shallow existence. It will never fulfill you. It will bring you down, and you will feel compelled to put on a performance for people that only want to be above you anyway, and you will play the lower end of that totem pole. You will stay there as they use you as a pedestal to rise above you. Be a leader, and don't worry about people who might be jealous or might make you feel bad for whatever it is you've got. Don't let your own insecurities be the driving force for them to suck you dry of what makes you great. Be you and be your best self. Was that good?
Mr. Maryland here.
Mr.
Or Mr. PA, however you want to say.
Hey, I'm just Mr. Foreman tonight.
Mr. Universe.
Not really.
They're really, really good answers.
Thanks.
What is the first sign you are becoming an old man?
The grays. I've got grays here.
I'm glad I didn't have to say it.
No, you apparently didn't. Yeah,
I like them.
Thanks, sweetheart. I personally don't. I'm not accepting. Well, I have to accept it. I'm not embracing it yet, but eventually I suppose I will.
Their arthritis.
Oh, yeah, arthritis, osteoarthritis. But see, I got that in my mid to later 20s. So that's not an old man's thing.
Yeah, but it's just getting worse.
It's just rare that I got it so young. It is getting worse. So I'm lucky that I'm able to stay fit and athletic, because I need that to counter something that could be pretty debilitating. It is extraordinarily painful. I still feel it right now as I sit here. I feel it all the time, but there's ways to counter that. So arthritis, yes, is a word that I won't say. There's no need for another bleep. I already got one of those.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so what is a goal you still want to accomplish in your life?
I want to use this brain of mine with a very difficult and increasingly difficult socio-economical world.
And you want to learn how to cook?
No, that's wishful thinking. Look, I am not a cook. I have not been a cook for 41 years. I will have to meet you at least halfway on that. And
I know. I'm sorry for interrupting you. Go ahead.
But I sure love your cooking. And now what I want to be able to do is use this brain of mine, this noggin, to be a licensed therapist. And why would I want to do something like that? Because since I was a little boy, people have gravitated to me, telling me, hey, Johnny called me a poopy head. And if I knew them, if I didn't know them, they would come to me. And it has remained that way with people of all walks of life for my entire life. And I never really looked at it that way until, maybe 5-6 years ago. Okay, more like 8 years. But the point is, that's my passion, and helping others. So I want to be a therapist, and it's just a long process. And yet I don't really have a choice other than to complete that process of getting a master's, etc. And I think that's the direction I'm going to be heading in sooner than later, because I think that's my calling.
Yeah, it is your calling, and you have my support, and I will make sure that you do what you want to be doing in life, so you're happy with that, because that's very important.
Well, see right there, that's more than half the battle, having a more than supportive partner who sees the same thing you see. And thank you.
You're welcome. So this is a big one. Even when you finally moved to my area, like, what is something you wish people understood about you?
I wish they understood that I was misunderstood. And what I mean by that is when you are different, not just in maybe how you look, it's really the way you conduct yourself, the way you think. The way that my mind has always been designed is to look at things in places that other people wouldn't necessarily notice or think about, and let alone to mention them. A lot of people I would encounter were unsure of what I was saying, how I was delivering it with the way I speak, because I have a different way of speaking, I think. I'm very much a verbose, that means wordy person, but I try to always tie together a bunch of ideas I will think of, and it can be overwhelming for some people, and that's okay, as long as you don't treat it or treat me like I need treatments for it. There's not a sickness associated with this kind of mentality or design of mine. It just needs to be understood, and one thing I've learned over time is if it can't be, ta-ta anyway. The scissors, that was the scissors. It's okay. Because I will snip you out of my life without being rude ever so quickly, because it's just so easy to do that. And I was never a fan of arts and crafts, but that's one craft I surely would do very quickly and effectively at this point without looking back, because there's only one way to go as far as I see it anyway. And either you're with me or you're not, and you have your own path and I have mine, but I know what my path is. So being misunderstood and trying too much to make people understand, wasting energy, straight up, on trying to make people who would never really understand me anyway or didn't want to try to understand. That is something that I've learned about myself, what I should never have done, but since you can't change it, what I will never do again. So I hope you understand that.
Okay. All right, that's all your questions for your section.
Oh.
Now it goes into the Brittany section.
Oh.
Yes.
Okay, sweetie. Bring it on. What am I asking, or what are we doing here?
No. What is Brittany's,
Oh.
and that would be me, most chaotic habit?
Oh. Tweezing. And it's not chaotic in a sense that she's like, but she loves to tweeze, and she's very good at it. But sometimes, I'll just be sitting down. It could be, I'm just walking around. I get my coffee or something, and next thing you know, you ever see those horror movies with the spotlight, and like the face, and you could see the shadows even of her big, beautiful mane, like on the ceiling, the wall. My daughter says it sometimes, "Daddy, look, it's mommy." And then I look, and she's got the light glaring off of a mirror, and it's just like, oh, and she's like doing some effortless tweezing all around. That is something I see often. So I would say that's kind of chaotic, especially the way I just made it sound with the silly sound effects. But it's only chaotic if she does it to me, which I let her do often to kind of keep me groomed. And it hurts so much, but she's just so good at it. So it's, I guess you could say, a very effective form of chaos.
Yes. All right. What is something Brittany does that drives you crazy, but you would miss if she stopped?
Things like that. Poking, prodding, grabbing. It's part of her design. You see, there's times I'll just be standing in the kitchen and all of a sudden I feel a little doo-doo-doo right where the hoo-ha is. And I'm like, what the F are you doing? And it's just like she's just being herself. Or like, like it could be like the weirdest thing. And I'm just like, am I a walking bullseye? Am I a sitting duck? Apparently I am. And that's just how she likes to to roll. She likes to do these things to me, these strange things. I'll be driving, we're just driving, all of a sudden, right in my ear. I'm like, do you want me to crash? Is that your mission? You want to make contact with someone else? You want me to swerve? Like, I don't know what you're doing, but she loves it, and I hate it. However, it's one of those things that I would totally miss. And I know if she's not doing it to me, something's actually wrong. More than likely, she might be upset.
And you miss it.
And then I miss it. And that's how I know, in short-term examples, I miss it at times. So for long-term, I'd probably be longing for that, woo! Who knows? Maybe.
Oh, man. I'm awesome.
Yes.
If Brittany had a warning label, what would it say?
Caution. Very quiet, but very explosive. Now that's paradoxical, but it's true, because it is the silent kind of assassin within her that is very scary, because they always say it's the quiet ones you have to watch out for. She does not speak nearly as much as I do, and I speak a lot, so I get it. But there's an energy that can emit from her that I feel, not just as someone who's highly empathic, it's true, but who has been so connected to her for so long, that if I feel that coming from her, she doesn't have to say a word, but it's very, very powerful. And it's just, I think, the silent strength of her ambiance that she can emit, that is something that no caution label could truly even describe properly.
Interesting. All right. What is something Brittany says all the time?
Come on, man. It's almost like Joe Biden. You remember him, that guy? She says that, and now even our daughter, she'd be like, come on, man. It's adorable, but it's like, that's one of her go-to phrases, I think. Or she'll say, let me see. What are you doing? That's usually when she's talking to her mother. And she's like trying to, take care of her. Like, what are you doing? And it's funny because that's her mother's favorite phrase. What are you doing? What are you doing, Brittany? What are you doing? So you see, the apple doesn't fall far from the tree. In fact, she says it to the tree.
Don't. I bet.
Crack that code.
Yeah.
Shout out to Mama Martha. How you doing, Mama Martha?
All right. If Brittany were a superhero, who would she be and why?
I call her Wonder Woman all the time. And I know she's only a DC lover. No, she does not like Marvel. No. And she reminds me of Wonder Woman because she has this wonderful mane of hair. And even though the texture or the exact appearance of the hair may not be the same, it gives me that kind of vibe physically, that kind of visual. But it's really all the things that she can do. She can do things like an ox with ox strength in a lot of conditions, as she's mentioned, physical conditions that no one in her, should be able to do these things. No one should be able to physically do them, but she does it, and she could do it like that and spend hours doing it, sacrificing herself for her daughter, myself, her mother, and getting so much done so effectively, so efficiently, that I consider her a real life Wonder Woman. That's a superpower in my book.
What is something Brittany does that makes you laugh every time?
So when I look in the kitchen and I just see her getting it in, she's dancing. She may not even have anything on, other than maybe like a towel from the shop, and it's like I'll look there and it's like she's been going at it for an hour or something. Like it's like she's been in a zone for so long with the moves. It's like, were you having a straight up party all this time, like by yourself? That's pretty awesome. And I love that. I love that she just has her own moments to herself where she can be comfortable enough in her skin to just be herself. And if that's deemed silly, I love that silly. You know I do. So I love seeing that. I do. Sometimes I look for it even, like, and it may not be happening, but then I want it to a little later on because it's very sweet to me. I find it adorable.
That's sweet. All right. What is something Brittany does that makes your day better?
One thing that she could do to make my day better is to simply be happy. When I say that, I mean that nothing else that might come in a very difficult life she has to face, whether I'm there or not, that it can ever bring her down, that it can ever make her feel like she's not happy. So when she's happy, right off the bat, I'm happy. It's the same thing with my daughter. I tell her all the time, I say, Haley, when you hurt, I hurt. When you're happy, I'm happy. It's the same thing. And I mean, I'm not that vicarious that I can't be happy if either of them are not happy, but I'm going to be less happy for sure. And when they're hurting or if they're upset, I'm definitely going to feel some of that. And so that is the most important thing for me, to have her be happy.
All right. And what is something you don't say enough to me?
I talk a lot and I say a lot of things, so I don't know. It's going to be hard for me to pinpoint something that I may not say enough. But I think I might have gotten a little epiphany. Hey, sweetheart, I cooked. Are you ready to eat this dinner? Right there. 100% accurate on 0% of cooking, I admit it. Except for air frying. Shout out to the air fryer. I love that thing.
All right. Well, that was the last question about me. Now we're moving on to the Haley questions.
Oh.
All right. What is the funniest thing Haley has ever said that made you and Brittany laugh really, really hard?
Smell my feet. I don't know what it is with this girl and the feet. I always said foot fetish, that's just the weirdest thing to me, and I'm not saying she's gonna have one. I truly hope she doesn't, but that. Plus she likes to smell my feet sometimes too, and she'll smile at me upward like, and I'm like, you don't want to smell that, sweetheart. But that, and there's numerous other things I know she has said. In the 5 years I've been blessed to be her father. But definitely that one. And I guess also, even though I didn't find it funny at the time, when she called me boo-boo instead of daddy for like almost 2 years, for like the ages of 2 almost to 4 years old. So, and her mother Mani instead of mommy. And just knowing that when we went to Walmart or places, this little big-haired little cutie was running around the store going, boo-boo, Mani, and wondering what people must be thinking. Who the hell are Boo Boo and Mani? So, Yeah.
And then we were actually out at dinner tonight, and I said, "Can I have some of your lemonade?" She goes, "Sure, my lady."
See? It's true. Went to Red Robin, that came out of her. So she's
so
chock
funny.
full of Haleyisms, and many more to come.
Yeah. What is something Haley does that reminds you of Brittany?
Oh, pretty much everything. And that in itself is adorable. It's beautiful to see as a father. You know, you see your wife, you see your daughter, and they're like the same. I always say, you guys share the same brain. You know, it's truly her mini, personality-wise, in many ways. The way she does these weird things that I spoke of earlier, like poking, prodding, grabbing. She does it to her mother, and she actually always has. I always find it hilarious that when tonight before bed, she just got in her face and started kissing her nonstop, Haley, to Brittany, just nonstop, to the point where it's like you can't help but laugh. Haley's laughing as she's doing it. Her mother's like, "All right, that's enough. Stop. Or what are you doing?" Because it's these up in your face kinds of strange things that she's now doing to her own mother, where she clearly got it from. And I find that to be beautiful. I do. All of that.
All right. If Haley were in charge of the house for one day, what do you think would happen?
There would be no more floor. It would just be completely covered with toys, because she does indeed have more toys than any child I've ever known. But she would make complete use of it. And she's definitely a doer. So she'd get a lot done in that day with covering the floor with all of her toys, and then trying all sorts of contraptions. Like if there was a box of some kind, another box would end up on it, and then a chair, and then maybe a table, and maybe stuff stacked up. We have very high ceilings, pretty high, to use this space. And it would just be like her own version of Ready, Set, Play, a place not far from us, where kids go and have ball pits and all sorts of things. That's, I think, what our house would look like. It would look like Toys R Us on steroids, mixed with like a place like Ready, Set, Play.
All right. What is something Haley does that melts your heart every time?
Well, nothing melts my heart more than hearing her say, "I love you, Daddy," or "I love you, Mommy." And nothing other than that melts my heart more than when I get home from work. And the other day she opened the garage door and said, "Daddy, I missed you." And best greeting, warmest, most meaningful greeting you can get after coming home from a long, hard day of work. And even though it can be very exhausting, her constant desire and verbally expressing this to want to play with me. "I want to play, Daddy. I want to play with you." And I was just talking to her mother earlier. As exhausting as that can be, it is something I will completely regret if I don't give her as much of me as possible at this honeymoon stage that we're in right now, because it will surely fade eventually, as it always does. And this is something that can affect her later. I know her interacting with her father is going to play a major role in relationships she has later, and things that she feels later about me and about the world. And I don't want her to ever think that I didn't give her all I had when she's older, and that she will always be able to look back and appreciate what I tried my best to do and to instill within her as her father.
What's your favorite thing to do with Haley?
Throw her. I've always loved to do it, and I'm going to try to continue doing it until my back goes out on me and she's getting bigger. She's a very tall girl for her age, so she's getting heavier as well. But throwing her, I've been chucking her up like a fireball in the air since she was a little munchkin, to the point there's a picture, I think, that looks dangerous even though it wasn't as dangerous, not to me, as it looks and appeared in the picture. But I always would catch her, and I still do. And I will always catch her, and I always pick her up as much as I can, even when I don't have to. I carry her up the stairs and all around on my shoulder. That is my favorite thing to do with that girl. Always has been.
What is something about Haley that makes you proud?
That she is that leader. She is a leading-minded girl, not a follower. I've seen countless occasions where kids have come around, friends, someone she consider a good friend, that wanted her to do something, and she is no pushover. She is no shoo-in. If she's not interested, she won't be mean about it, not at first unless they keep asking. But she's very firm about when she does not want to just go along with what someone else wants to do. She has a total mind of her own, and I absolutely love that about her, and I hope that carries over, obviously, into her teens and for the rest of her life. And that peer pressure is never something that takes away from who she is, ever.
Yeah.
I need a water for that one, because I really hope that. I really do.
What is one thing you hope Haley never changes about herself?
Well, what I just mentioned, and her creative ways, her complete artistic-minded self. It's beautiful. That it manifests just as it did with me. When I was her age, drawing, illustrating, and making short stories. She's big into coloring. I didn't do music till I was 18. She came out the womb singing. It was something her mother and I made sure we wanted to have. That's a part of her. Dancing. She loves to dance, like her Aunt Sia, like her mother. She loves to dance. And hopefully her athletic ways too. Staying busy all the time. Not only will it keep you in shape, but she obviously is very bodily kinesthetic to even want to do these things. And I hope she doesn't get too hurt. I hope her balance always is there. And I just love seeing her be so active. But using her time productively, physically, and using that mind of hers to be the creative soul that she is just, there's never a dull moment with that girl. She is animated like a human cartoon. She really is. And I hope that part of her remains and never changes, and that this cold world does not pop that pink cloud she's on too much, because it is absolutely beautiful and completely naturally who she is.
All right. And this is the last question.
Okay, sweetie.
All right. If Haley watches this video when she's 20 years old, what message would you want her to hear from you?
Haley, I will always love you. And from the moment you were born, you changed my life. You made me a better man, as cliche as that sounds, and you'll learn what that word means eventually. You truly made me a better person, and I've never cared about anything or anyone on this planet other than your mother the way I care about you. And that will always be the case until I am super gray and you are a grown woman at 20, grown enough. I hope you see that I've given all I can to give you all that you deserve, to help you blossom, to cultivate and harness all the beautiful parts of you so that you can evolve into the wonderful person you are already, that I know you're successfully going to thrive to be as an adult and for the rest of your days. And always know that your mother and father will always be supporting you in any way we can to see you through for the rest of our lives. Thank you for being my daughter.
That was very sweet. Very, very sweet.
Thank you, mamas.
All right. All right. Well, that's it. You survived the hot seat. I'm very, very proud of you. You did very good.
Thank you, honey. I hope that you all enjoyed this episode, and it's true. I had no idea, and I love the spontaneity of these things, not knowing what I was going to be asked by Brittany. And since my wife knows me so well, I'm going to just say, I might be biased, you found a bunch of awesome questions to ask me, and I'm happy that you asked them and that I was able to rise to the occasion and be as truthful about it as I can be, right here for all of you as well. And anything else that you wanted to say?
Nope. That's it. You want to close this out?
Nah, it's Okay, sure. On that note, again, thank you all for watching. We'll try not to be too much of a delayed hiatus kind of thing going on for the next episode. So thank you for your patience. And this is Filling in the Blanks. I'm Michael.
And I'm Brittany.
And
we'll see you next time.
ta-ta.